Hi, my name is Joe Siegel. I'm in the Los Angeles area here in California, and I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter, advocate, slash love revolutionary. And I'm just getting back from running my errands around town where I like to do what I call inline activism, and that's basically I talk to people while I'm in line. I talk to my neighbors. It's revolutionary. It's something that people don't tend to do. Is everyone's standing around looking at their phones and just looking at their Twitter or Facebook feeds or Instagram or what have you. And so I was just at the bank, and I went into the bank and held the door open for a nice lady that was going into the bank. And she said, "Well, thank you, Peace Man." And I thought, yeah, that's right. I'm wearing my Peace is a Jobs Program shirt. I forget that sometimes, see, I wear the advocacy that I live, the things, the principles that I would like to see in the world I live in. I want to put those ideas out there so I see them coming back at me and everybody else in the world when I'm out there. So I believe in planting positive seeds of change, of kindness and compassion and peace in a world that is just too full of stress and anger and violence. And so I wear my Bernie Sanders hat I made so that I could plant that seed out there too for social justice and equality and human dignity for everyone, every worker and every family. And I start conversations with people about life, about how difficult it is for us now, and it didn't have to be that way, and it didn't used to be that way. Everyone could really do well by just working hard and sticking at whatever they were doing and going to college and living their lives, and our wages rose, and we didn't have massive debts and massive stress in our lives so much, and life was hard, but we all knew that eventually it'd get better if we just stayed at it and worked together. But it's different now. You know, people say the American dream is just that now. It's just a dream. And Bernie Sanders wants to help us change that together, and he's the only one out there saying he's not going to fix everything. The problems are too big. The country is too big for one president to fix everything. That it's going to take all of us working together, pitching in as neighbors. You know, like Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Well, Bernie Sanders, Senator Sanders, is walking in that same spirit. He's on the shoulders, working and standing on the shoulders of Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy and McGovern and John F. Kennedy, and saying, this is a great, great country filled with innovative people and caring, loving people who make breakthrough inventions and products and scientific breakthroughs that cure diseases and help millions and millions of people. And we can continue to do that only if we invest in each other and work together instead of demonizing each other and fighting all the time. And if we see ourselves as part of this great nation that needs us to invest in each other through higher education for all of our people, not just the rich who can afford it, and not heaping hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars of debt on our young people that are going to college so that they have to start their jobs and their careers in massive stress over debt that'll take them a lifetime to pay off if they ever do. And so Bernie Sanders sees how far behind all of us really are, because our income has not gone up in real dollars adjusted for inflation since 1975 when I was in high school. And I tell people, you know, when I got out of high school in 1980 in Culver City, I was working for about $10 an hour because I learned graphic design and I got some jobs at print shops and got some raises and got more raises, and that's the way it was. You know, we had trades and I worked at a factory for a while and as a lathe operator, and I made more money, and now they are holding it against people for working for, who are working for $7, $8, $9 an hour to slave wages, who are working for less than in real dollars than I was, 30 years ago. And so it's wrong. All of us, not just the young people, but all of our wages really should be twice what they are now. Because if you look at the charts and you Google it, productivity increases, the chart looks like this. And our wages in America is flat, like this. Just flatlined. Like flatlined is not good, generally speaking, in health terms. So that gap between our wages and productivity increases, that's all profit. That's gone to the wealthiest 1%, 10% actually of our country, wealthiest 10% of the people in this country of 330 some million people have more than the bottom 90% of us combined. So having money, there's nothing wrong with having a lot of money and doing well in life. The problem is when you can't get from here to there to there, and you can't make progress because the system is rigged, because the people with all the money and power at the top have put their own politicians in to skew the laws so that they keep making all the money, keep our wages low, send our jobs overseas where they can make even more money because, for God's sake, they don't have enough. They just have to, they call it keeping score. They have to have another billion than the other billionaire or something. More money they can ever spend in their lifetimes. And meanwhile, we all are working harder for longer, getting sicker and older and stressed, and worried, not being able to pay for the medicines. 1 out of 5 of us can't even afford the medicines the doctors prescribe for us. And, we all see how medicated we are. Every other commercial on TV is for some kind of pill they want us to ask our doctors to sell to us. And it just doesn't have to be that way. If we work together, we could actually get ahead, all of us. Even the rich people can get richer because a little bit of a huge growing pie, a huge growing economy, a big expanding middle class, a little bit of that is a huge amount of money. And those rich investors used to be really satisfied with making 30% of all the economic gains in the country and 70% going to labor. But now it's flipped upside down, and they got 70%. And we've got bupkis. That means nothing. As my grandmother used to say, bupkis, you left with nothing but an aching, body at the end of the day and worry about your kids, that they can afford college, if you'll be able to afford to send them to college. So I went into the bank, and I held the door open for this woman. I kind of digressed, and she said, "Wow, thanks, Peace Man, Mr. Peace Man." And I was taken aback, and then I remembered this shirt I'm wearing. And I said, "You know what? I've been called worse than Peace Man." I kind of like that. Call me Peace Man anytime, especially in this world of such brutality and war and sorrow. We need to claim the mantle of being Peace Man or Peace Woman. If I had a superpower, I think that's what it would be, is to bestow peace all around me so people didn't have to bury their young people and their family members for just no reason, because of ignorance and greed and fear. So I made this shirt. It says, "Peace is a jobs program," because peace is great for the economy. We don't have to be shipping it all off and flying it away on missiles to go bomb people, building more aircraft carriers. We can invest in roads and bridges, keep them from falling down, and invested in curing cancers that are killing so many of us. And much more than ISIS, which is a terrible, terrible group of ignorant people. But cancer kills everybody. I knows somebody who's died or is dying from some kind of cancer. That we should be fighting a war against that, not a war on people who use drugs or, locking up 2 million of our brothers and sisters in these cruel places called prisons. So Bernie Sanders wants to end the war on drugs and treat people that have medical conditions of addiction humanely, compassionately, return them to society so they're not angry and damaged from prison, and they can work and be with their families and raise their children. And that's just makes sense. So Anyway, get out there and vote for Bernie Sanders and tell everybody you know about him and tell them we can win. We can win together. If we just show up to vote, you call people and phone bank, you knock on doors on your block, you talk to people in line at the market, talk to people in line at the pharmacy, listen to them, don't just talk to them. Ask them how they're doing. Talk to them, if you're at the pharmacy, about the high price of staying healthy and how Medicare for all would really help the whole country. And you wouldn't have to go broke if you got sick. And everybody, not just, there wouldn't be 30 million Americans without health care insurance right now. Gosh, I can't even believe what life would be like to have an illness and not have health insurance right now in America. So, my brothers and sisters, peace, man, from me to you. I wish you a good week and peace in the world, and my heart and prayers and love goes out to all of us from this tragic losses of war that's going on all around the world, especially our brothers and sisters in Paris, France. May we all know peace in our time and elect a good man to lead us and bring us together as citizens working together for change and human dignity. Bernie Sanders. Thanks. Peace.